how can that affect your relationships or your business when you put emotions in your communication?
The words "this too shall pass." If you're going through a really successful time in your life, stay humble, stay authentic, be yourself, because success is not permanent. For me, in the business that we're in, I'm really grateful to have met some of the world's greatest, global thought leaders, be it Marshall Goldsmith, Stephen Covey, Ron Kaufman, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, to name a few, Robin Sharma. And then most importantly, what you learn, you apply in your life till it becomes a habit. Once it's
Mm.
a habit, it becomes a part of you. So I keep feeling I'm a better version of myself as each year passes.
Today we have a really inspiring guest. We've been after each other for a long time, and finally it's happening. Today we have really inspiring guest. His name is Gautam Ganglani. And I'm here, Daniel Tokab, your host today, and have truly Romanary. Gautam, thank you very much for joining us today.
Danielle, it's an absolute pleasure. It's all about the right timing. And, every time we disconnect, someone else reconnects us and said, you must connect. So it's an absolute pleasure to be with you today and break bread virtually. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing. Well, before we dive even into this treasure of wisdom, here's a little something from the heart. Every subscription, every like, every share means the world to us. It's not just about numbers. It's about sharing information, knowledge, experiences. It's about incredible community we're building together all over the world. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share with your friends. It is more than just support, it's a journey. We're taking to get together to spread these great minds and their even greater stories. Alrighty, let's start. Let's start by saying, who is Gotham?
Who is Gautam? Wow.
Mm,
Where
in
do I
your words.
start? What a question. Gautam is an author, a speaker, a business coach, an entrepreneur, father, brother, son, a friend. We play all different hats, as we know, in our life, and grateful to play so many hats across three continents. I was born and brought up in London, UK. So I had lived in London, and my entire education was in the UK. I then moved to Dubai in the Middle East, where I joined my father's family business, which is Right Selection. And we're in the business of transforming lives, transforming leaders through executive coaching, training, and speaking. This October that we're in now, it's actually 30 years since my father and I started the business.
Wow. Wow.
Really a milestone. October 1993, we launched the business in Dubai, and we now serve clients and leaders across the Gulf and India. That's a
Amazing.
quick nutshell.
Wow. This is not a quick, this is really impressive. And everywhere I go, like every target I'm looking for to host on my Monday Talks, I found Gautam on the way. He's really well connected person, really. And I would love to know, like, how much knowledge have you gained by networking with such leaders all over the world? And no matter where he is, you bring him directly to Dubai and network with the people, present to the people. You're really doing a great job by presenting these speakers in Dubai. What
Thank
has
you.
this
Thank
affect in your own personal life?
No, thank you so much. I mean, to me, one thing that my father inculcated in early days with my brother and himself is that learning is a lifetime journey. Or as Mahatma Gandhi says, stop learning, stop living. We constantly learn from books. We learn from podcasts like your podcast. We learn from videos. We learn from events. We learn from people. We learn from conversations. So for me, in the business that we're in, I'm really grateful to have met some of the world's greatest, global thought leaders, be it Marshall Goldsmith, Stephen Covey,
Yeah.
Ron Kaufman, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, to name a few, Robin Sharma. When you have the chance to listen and learn from these eminent authors and speakers, they're sharing their life's experiences, their stories, their journeys with you. And from every time you interact with them, you're constantly learning. You're having a different perspective. You're having ideas to your business. You're having solutions to your bottlenecks. So, it's really a pleasure to learn from these great speakers. And to me, every speaker has taught me something different. And it actually, the learning doesn't happen only when the stage, it's off stage, because I have the pleasure of, breaking bread with them over breakfast, over lunch, over dinner, between events, or when we travel. And those conversations are absolutely priceless. So really grateful you have learned so much from all these speakers. And then most importantly, what you learn, you apply in your life till it becomes a habit. Once it's
Mm,
a habit, it becomes a part of you. So I keep feeling I'm a better version of myself as each year passes.
beautiful. So your book, just like in the background, it says Breaking Bread, emphasizes the
Yeah.
importance of building meaningful relationship. Can you share with us a particular instance where you saw impact of relationship building in your personal or business life?
Yeah, there are many stories, but yeah, that come to mind to me is wherever I'm meeting, be it speakers, be it authors, be it business leaders, I like to take time to have a meal with them. To me, when you take time to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, a coffee with people that you meet in your life, time is the most priceless asset. Everything else comes and goes in life, but time is invaluable. And when you have a meal, there's an energy exchange that takes place. So, the meals I've had with Marshall Goldsmith, the meals I've had with speakers, with CEOs, with clients, with friends, we've had meaningful conversations because food is an energy exchange. So, to me, it's a conscious effort to slow down and not be busy being busy, as many of us sometimes are, is slow down to have a coffee, have a meal with the people that are important in your life and nurture those relationships. Get to know people personally, professionally, build rapport, build trust, build comfort. At the end of the day, we spend more than 70% of our lives in our business or in our professions. So you must take time, starting with your own team. A great example I can give you is that, every Thursday it used to be in Dubai. Now it's like every Friday. We as a team used to come together and have our lunch every Friday together. And everyone was from different cultures and they would bring their food and we would share our lunch together. The
Wow.
saying in life, they say families that eat together stay together. To me, teams that eat together stay together. And
Mm,
that's the beauty of the relationships of having a meal with your team, let alone your customers or your families. So to me, that's the essence of breaking bread, and that's one example.
yeah. Wow. So to break bread with someone means that you're taking this relationship to a different level.
Yes, absolutely. You're taking it to the next level. And something else I'll add to what I shared earlier is talk about meals, but the underlying message of breaking bread is whenever you communicate with emotion. And we communicate via WhatsApp, we communicate via email, we communicate via social media, we communicate at meetings, at networking. But how do you communicate? Do you communicate in a very short manner, or do you put some feelings and some emotion into it? I'll give you one simple example.
Mm,
We all wish many friends, family, clients a happy birthday. People send endless Facebook messages, happy birthday um, on WhatsApp, just happy birthday, Danielle, have a great day, or happy birthday, Danielle, have an awesome day on Facebook. But when I send a message to someone in my network, I will send a video message, or I will call, or I will send an audio message, but I will not just send a message. And the reason for that is you may get 100 messages of wishing you happy birthday, but you'll get very few people in today's world to actually pick up the phone and say, "Hi, Danielle, how are you doing? Want to wish you a happy birthday. Have a fantastic year and look forward to catching up soon." Or I send a picture of you and me and send it to you and say, happy birthday, or send a audio message. There's putting some little extra effort and emotion when you communicate. That's breaking bread. You're connecting with people beyond just a transaction. Tick box,
mm.
happy birthday. That's the distinction of breaking bread, whether it's a meal or how you communicate with emotion and energy.
What difference can it make? I mean, how can that affect your relationships or your business when you put emotions in your communication?
You build professional friendships. You become memorable. You become likable. You're trustworthy. People see you as a nice, friendly person, someone who's caring, someone who's into relationships in a professional manner, as opposed to feeling it's just about business. there's a human element to it. We all
Hmm.
have different cultures, we have different ages in the people we work with and the people we do business with. But one thing is, we're all humans. And when you connect with that human touch, a human emotion in a personal and a professional manner, um, the person becomes a friend for life, the person becomes a customer for life, the person becomes a connect who you remember, and you are always willing to support and be helpful. And that's really how it's been my experience.
Wow. Wow. That's really adding a different feeling about how to exchange business. Talking
Thank
about
you.
right selection has worked really long years. You said 30 years, right?
30 years this October, yes.
Yeah. So right selection has worked with some of top thought leaders in the world. How did you establish these partnerships? How did you reach these people?
It's a great question. We all started somewhere. One of the very first speakers we worked with in the world was Ron Kaufman. Um, and he's the author of a book called Uplifting Service. He's actually in Dubai this coming week
Oh,
for a series of events. He's the one speaker that we used to engage many times. We met by chance at an event with a client in Dubai where our original business, as I said, was selling books. So there was always events in Dubai in the 90s where there was events, and we would be the book supplier who had books at these events for the delegates. I met with Ron, we connected, we broke bread, and we built a relationship. And soon after that, about 23 years ago, we set up our events division. And I brought Ron Kaufman, and we had a great success, and we brought him year after year for 20 years, and we had clients booking it. And what happens then? People observed what we were doing. We had a testimonial from Ron on the experience. So then I would write to other speakers and share. We're working with Ron Kaufman. Here's a testimonial from him, and this is the experience, and we'd like to invite you to the country. So it was really one speaker after the other, but built on the success story of your first break. Whatever your business is, we need a first break, which comes sometimes by chance, sometimes through a friend, sometimes through a connection. And then you have the experience. You then have proof of concept. You have a success story. And then you're
hmm.
able to use that success story to connect with more people, more customers, and more speakers. So it's been built very organically over the years. And the last 10 to 12 years, we worked with Marshall Goldsmith as our leading speaker. And obviously, with Marshall, with 1.5 million followers on LinkedIn, when we share we're working with Marshall, it gets visibility with many authors around the world who write to us. And then we're very selective on who we can work with and how we work.
You said story, and now it's story time. You have so many stories. You were on the table breaking bread with so many thought leaders. Can you just remember or share with us a really influential, substantial, a pivotal moment you had with, like a story, with anyone of those guests you had?
Wow. It's there's so many stories to try and pick one
Like
particular
one that
story.
kept you personal impression, or one that dig deep in you that you will not forget this moment.
Yeah, I think it would be breaking bread with Jack Canfield. I had the pleasure of visiting Phoenix, Arizona about 10 years or so ago. I went for a 7-day retreat with Jack Canfield. There were well over 300 people there. And I had said I would love to host Jack Canfield in the Gulf region, but I don't know how. And I couldn't connect with him. And finally, when I visited Arizona, I met him personally. I found a break time to reach out to him and requested if I could meet him over dinner. He was having dinner with some guests. He said, "Sure, you can join us." And that conversation, we built rapport. He got to know me personally, professionally. My father was with me at that event, so he knew it was a family business. And I said, "It's my dream to bring you to the Gulf region.
Hmm.
And what can I do to make this happen? What are you looking for? What are your goals?" And he was just felt a connection. He felt the authenticity. And he said, "Let's make this happen." And I had approached him many times before in the formal way, via email, via the website, without much luck. But because I went in person to US, had a meal with him, attended his workshop, built that relationship over a meal. I think it was just 6 months later, he came to Dubai, Oman, Bahrain, and we hosted a series of events. In fact, that first trip, we had hosted a venue called Duck Tack, which is a theater in Dubai at Mall of Emirates, and there are 543 seats. It was a full house.
Wow.
We actually had extra people walking in even at the last minute, although it was a full house. And he said to me, I've worked with organizers all over the world, and gave me and the team a beautiful testimonial saying, absolute full house, not even a single empty seat. And that led to working with him for 10, 15 events across the Gulf in India. And to me, it
Wow.
was just, that's something which I know when I track back, it was that meal, that dinner in Phoenix, Arizona, on the other side of the world, led to hosting him in Dubai, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, Bombay, Chennai, Delhi, Bangalore, even going to the Taj Mahal with him, and him coming home and spending time with my family. So, yeah, that's one of the great stories. Thank you.
Gautam, you are, through the years, you are really professional networking uh, skilled. Um, this networking thing, I mean, if you as a person not successful with connecting with people and really just like this meeting you described over the meal in Phoenix, if you are not that professional that influenced him, he will not accept. So
Right.
give us some cheat codes how to copy Gotham when networking.
Yeah, it's yeah, we call them hacks, or it's really, to me, honestly, again, about being a great listener, understanding people are different. As I said, you have introverts, you have extroverts, you have people culturally different. And really, I think what I've practiced a lot is um, asking some good questions, being a good listener, and building rapport, making a connection, and uh, let relationships be built organically, and be patient. What I observe some people is they try to build relationships very, very fast, and that becomes a feeling of transactional. I know it's not easy to be patient because we all want to progress in our careers, we want to progress in our business. But when you take time to listen, build rapport, build trust, um, people feel the sincerity, the authenticity, the genuineness, and business happens organically by default because you're likable and people like to do business with they like, they trust, and they're comfortable with. So that
Mm,
would be what comes to my mind. Don't be in a rush. Slow down, take time, be present, ask great questions, and listen attentively.
beautiful. You said at the beginning you have so um, sensitive when you just like select people to be your next partner or your next speaker or your next event presenter. So, in what criteria you select?
Yeah, so when we look at selection of speakers, you see, if speakers, they need to be marketable. There are thousands of authors out there, thousands of speakers out there. So when we work with people we believe have the talent, the knowledge, the expertise that will add value to the market, if they are an established brand, great. If they are not, but we see potential, they may be successful in the US, in Europe, and other parts of the world. But just the same way of breaking bread, when we bring in speakers who are unknown in the Gulf, they need to have a mindset of abundance, of collaboration, because, and what I mean by that is, their first visit, they should be open to collaborating and connecting with people, and not be just coming for an event. So in short, they got to have a long-term vision of building their brand, building their relationships, because business is a journey, it's not a race. And to me, there are some speakers, they're so successful uh, that they may not have the time, even though they may wish to work in this region. So then it's not easy to work. So we definitely want to work with few speakers who are industry experts in a specific field, and they have the sort of long-term thinking about building a business here in the region. And those are
Mm.
speakers that resonate with us. There's no wrong or right. All speakers are, I'm sure, great in their own way, but we are selective because the speaker needs to be with that abundance mindset, collaborative mindset, partnership mindset. And if they are, we're happy to explore together.
Mm. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go more into Gautam. Outside of work, what are some of your favorite hobbies, activities that you are enjoying doing in free time?
Great. I mean, in my younger days, I used to love playing squash and cricket, and in that sense, traveling. I enjoy traveling for sure. Um, in terms of sort of things I like doing, I think the pandemic really helped me develop some healthier habits, if I can call them that. So I'm very committed to every morning as I start my day, be it meditation or sitting in silence, reading, um, listening to podcasts like yours,
Thank you.
to to uh, to listening to my favorite music, taking a walk, yoga. I say a variety of things because I'm someone who can get bored very easily. And what I realize is I'd like to invest in time for myself in the morning so I'm in the best emotional, physical, mental state of mind to face the day. So I picked about 10 different things that I love doing, of which I shared a few: journaling, reading, music. And I just say an hour for Gautam every morning. And I do a variety of exercises, a variety of these things: 20 minutes reading, 20-minute meditation, 20 minutes of journaling, for example. And I do this every single day. I make sure I do 30 minutes minimum of movement or more. It could be playing cricket, it could be taking a walk, going to the gym, whatever that is, because that's how you start your day, sets you in the right state of mind to manage the day. Because we know you can plan the best days, and there are days that things will happen in the day which you did not plan. But when you have nurtured yourself and taken care of yourself, because you can only give others what you have inside.
Yeah.
So when you take care of Gautam or you take care of Danielle, and you make yourself the best version of yourself in the morning, then you're going to give the best for this interview. You're going to give the best for your time with your family. You're going to give the best to your team. Sometimes we get busy being busy and just start our day and go straight to work, and you've missed an opportunity to start your morning. So for me, that morning ritual is something that I really commit to. I enjoy playing cricket. I live in a community where in India, where we have about 30, 40 friends, and you build wonderful friendships through sports. So I love
Oh,
playing cricket, and
beautiful.
movies and music and traveling. Yeah.
Beautiful. I remember the event for Robin Sharma you have arranged.
Yes.
The first thing he started the speech like, yes, I am member of 5 a.m. club. So it's like there is this time that it should be me time before, just like you said, setting up your mindset right before you started your own journey in the day, which is quite
Absolutely.
interesting. Okay, among these all speakers you met around the world, who inspired you the most? Who is your role model?
It's very difficult to pick one, but and I don't say that to be diplomatic, but I learned something unique from everyone that I spent time with. From Jack Canfield, I learned the power of asking. When you ask, the worst that can happen is you get a no. Some people
Oh,
hesitate to ask. So I love asking for help, asking questions to understand, to get more clarity, asking for advice. So asking for help. So this is one thing I learned from Jack amongst many things. From Ron Kaufman, who talks about customer service, what I learned is that when things go wrong, that's a golden opportunity to not only just apologize and correct the mistake, but to bounce back and provide something special and unique that becomes surprising or unbelievable. And when you do that, you turn a mistake into a success story. Most people, when they make a mistake, they apologize and correct the mistake, but they leave an opportunity to do something extra at that moment in time to make the mistake be forgotten by the customer because you did something special. So that's something I learned from Ron Kaufman, you know.
Oh,
Marshall Goldsmith, to me, I love learning about accountability from him. I've learned so much from Marshall. He's one of the most humble, down to earth human beings I
yeah.
know, despite being a global leader. But you know, one thing is about accountability. When you have an accountability partner, you're able to apply everything you want to apply without procrastinating. Otherwise, when we leave it to ourselves, we procrastinate. I'll do it later. But when you have an accountability partner, it's so invaluable. You got someone who is there to check in on you, and remind you to do the things you want to do and you're committed to doing. So that's something, these are just three examples.
Wow, wow. Have you ever thought of you doing a speech? Because you
I have
have
had the pleasure.
gained a lot of, a lot of information. You have already 30 years back. You have a
Yeah.
very strong experience to share.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I have had the pleasure of speaking on stage a few times. In fact, the speaking of stage in Goa to about 30, 40 people, that actually what inspired my book Breaking Bread, because they asked me to ask me that how do you build relationships with speakers and global leaders from the corporate world, Gautam. And that's when I came up with, you know, the strategies of breaking bread, and I made the presentation. I did not realize they were recording the presentation, and they transcribed it and shared it with me. And that is
Oh,
what inspired me to actually write the book. So I have spoken a few times on stage in Singapore, India, and Dubai. Not something I pursued, but who knows? We're still young, and you know, from entrepreneur to an author to a business coach, next could be speaking.
beautiful, beautiful. Keep us posted because we love to see you when you start this journey.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
Here's another question. Uh, if you could, you learned a lot and you gain experience of thought leaders of the world, and you are yourself building up a thought leader, a global thought leader. I can see it. Uh, if you can go back to your younger self, younger version of yourself, what
Yeah.
can you change after this knowledge you have gained all over the years?
I'm not sure I would really change anything. Not that I didn't have my fair share of challenges or difficulties. You know, I've lived in three countries. Changing countries is not something easy. I had a fair share of a very difficult experience in my childhood days in the UK. When I reflect back, in every challenge I've had, there's been a solution, there's been a learning, there's been progress. So to me, challenges, as my dad says, challenges and change are the two things that be constant for the rest of your life. The moment you have no change and no challenges, you may be no more on planet Earth. You know, my dad said change and challenges are constant. How do you
Mm.
respond to the changes and challenges is really the key. And he gave me three pieces of advice as a young teenager. He said, whenever you have a challenge that you find very difficult, surround yourself with the right people, people who will uplift you, encourage you, inspire you, help you be the best version of yourself, not people who are going to be negative and be consoling you and it becomes worse. So surround yourself with good quality people. Learn from the best. When you learn from the books, the audio, the podcasts, and you learn ideas to solve your problem or your challenge. And then most importantly is take action. Many people attend seminars, read books, um, listen to podcasts, but when they take away an idea, they just take it as knowledge. This was good. But only when you apply and take action on the ideas that inspire you, do you have a new experience in your life. So surround yourself with the right people, continuously learn and take action are three things that I apply every time I have a challenge.
Wow. Wow. Just love it. Really love it. Amazing.
My pleasure.
Okay, we have very short limited time remaining in our interview. I don't know, just like how fast did it go? Uh, but let's say you have the microphone talking to the youngsters who are just like looking to make a difference, leave an impact. What would you like to say? Or let's
So
imagine that you're talking to your kids. just like your father was transferring this knowledge to you,
Yeah.
what value you are transferring to the next generation by saying what?
Wow. That's a question I've not been asked before. Makes me stop and think, what advice would I like to pass on to my children, or the young leaders of today, the future leaders. Um, this I would say one. It's sort of call them anecdotes, but one would be, you know, the words "this too shall pass." If you're going through a really successful time in your life, stay humble, stay authentic, be yourself, because success is not permanent. If you're going through difficulty, don't be stressful, don't be anxious, don't be worried. This too shall pass. So sometimes we get caught up and let success go to our head. So people have egos. Sometimes we take negative situations to our heart and we feel anxious and stressful. So this too shall pass from any situation. That's one. I believe learning is a lifetime journey, which I shared earlier, and I feel no matter what age you are, make learning a lifetime journey, because you learn from people, learn from books, learn from content, you learn from interactions, and when you learn, you're keeping yourself updated on the right knowledge that is valid for today. As my dad says, surround yourself with good quality people. Life is short, in the sense, whether you're working, enjoy where you work, enjoy the people you work with, be kind, be generous, be helpful. It's just so gratifying when you can make a difference in other people's lives. Be someone who contributes, um, and above all, do what makes you passionate. The beauty of the world now is no longer about being a doctor, dentist, lawyer, profession. Whatever your hobby is, my daughter loves photography. I'm encouraging her to go all out in photography. There are photography studios around the world running as a business that may have not been there. So whatever your hobbies are, your passions are, pursue them. And ultimately, create a legacy of your journey of life. Leave the world a better place than when you started. Um, and be someone that people, will have appreciated when anyone talks about you outside, in your absence. Be the person that people praise in your absence because you made a difference in their lives. So these are some of the thoughts that come to mind, Daniel.
Wow, wow. Well, I have to say, I'm wrapping up by saying thank you so much, Gautam, for sharing this incredible journey and insights and wisdom. You are truly luminary. Your story is beacon. Hope and inspiration is filled in every line of your story. You mentioned since you learned from your father until you're addressing the new generation, you are really a luminary. Thank you for being an amazing guest with us today.
Thank you, Danielle. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege. Thank you for hosting me. Wishing you continued success and growth, not only with your podcast, but also your business. And it's been an absolute pleasure and privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. To all our viewers, remember to follow, like, and subscribe. Mother Talks and more insightful conversation like this one. Until next time, stay empowered and take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.